The discovery beneath the Lot 8 boulder in Season 13, Episode 18 was so significant that the team could not believe what their own eyes were showing them, and by the end of this breakdown, you will understand exactly why. Welcome back, and if this is your first time here, this is where every Oak Island episode gets the detail it deserves. Breaking the Seal is the name of tonight's episode. After one of the most ambitious lifting operations in the history of this investigation, a 40,000-pound boulder comes up off the surface of Lot 8, and what the team finds underneath it stops everyone standing there completely. A man-made feature, confirmed, pointing directly at a concealed shaft or tunnel the island has been protecting for 3 centuries. Here is the full breakdown. The moment the team sees what is beneath the Lot 8 boulder in Episode 18, the reaction is not what you get from a promising lead or an interesting anomaly. This is different. The people standing at the edge of that feature have spent years on this island. They have seen the ground produce natural formations that fooled earlier researchers. They have seen results that look meaningful dissolve under scrutiny. The discipline this team has developed across 13 seasons is exactly the discipline that makes their reaction in Episode 18 so compelling and so credible. When Marty and Rick Lagina and the rest of the team look at what the boulder has been covering and cannot immediately find a natural explanation for what they are seeing, that response from these people in this investigation means something real. The Lot 8 area has been one of the primary investigative targets of Season 13 from the very beginning, and the case the team has been building around it across the season makes the Episode 18 discovery land with the full weight it deserves. Geophysical surveys, historical mapping, anomaly readings from beneath the boulder itself, all of it had been pointing toward this corner of the island, and specifically toward what might sit beneath that stone. The team did not arrive at the decision to lift a 40,000-pound boulder on impulse or optimism alone. They arrived at it because the evidence kept returning the same answer regardless of how the question was framed. What they find when the boulder finally comes up is the ground confirming what the instruments and the records had been suggesting all along. A 40,000-pound boulder does not get lifted on a whim. The machinery required, the ground preparation, the operational planning, the risk assessment around disturbing a feature that size, in an area as historically and archaeologically sensitive as Lot 8, all of it represents a serious commitment from a team that has learned over 13 seasons to be deliberate about when and how it escalates the intensity of its investigation. The Lagina team authorized this lift because the convergence of evidence pointing at Lot 8 had reached a threshold they could not responsibly ignore. And when the stone clears the ground and the team gets its first clear view of what has been sitting beneath it, the decision to make that commitment is immediately and completely vindicated by what the island reveals. The man-made feature the team finds beneath the boulder is not ambiguous, and it is not subtle. It is a constructed feature in a location that was deliberately sealed beneath 40,000 pounds of stone, and the positioning of that feature in relation to what may lie beneath it raises the shaft and tunnel question in the most direct and unavoidable way possible. The Oak Island mystery has been built around the theory of deliberate underground engineering on this island since the first recorded excavation in 1795. Every confirmed piece of man-made construction found here either strengthens that theory or deepens the questions it raises. The feature beneath the Lot 8 boulder does both. It strengthens the case for a constructed underground system and simultaneously opens a new section of the island as an active and urgent line of investigation. What makes the team's disbelief in Episode 18 so powerful is the context it carries. These are not first-time visitors to this island responding to the novelty of an unusual find. These are experienced investigators who have walked this ground for years, who have had their expectations managed by the Klondike's habit of promising more than it delivers, and who have calibrated their responses accordingly. The fact that what they find beneath the Lot 8 boulder genuinely stops them that their first response is not confident interpretation but something closer to astonished. Recalibration tells you more about the significance of the discovery than any description of the feature itself. You cannot fake that reaction from people who have earned the right to be hard to impress. And the team in episode 18 is clearly and genuinely impressed. The title breaking. The seal earns every word of it in episode 18. The seal over the Lot 8 feature has held for an estimated 300 years through every attempt to understand this island, through every season of this show, through every survey instrument pass and every excavation that came close but did not reach it. Someone placed that boulder there with the specific and deliberate intention of ensuring that what sits beneath it would not be found. The scale of the concealment tells you something critical about the significance of what it was protecting. You do not seal something beneath 40,000 pounds of stone for 300 years unless what is underneath is worth protecting at that level. Episode 18 is the episode where that protection finally fails, and what it was protecting is now visible. The war room discussion that follows the discovery in episode 18 is where the investigation's next chapter begins to take shape. The team is not simply processing the emotional weight of what they have found, they are immediately and practically focused on what comes next. The confirmed man-made feature needs to be investigated further. The question of whether a shaft or tunnel exists beneath it needs to be answered through physical investigation rather than inference. And the implications of a positive answer for the broader theory of constructed underground engineering on this island need to be worked through in the context of everything else Season 13 has uncovered. The war room in episode 18 is a room full of people who have just seen something they could not believe and who are already planning how to find out what it means for long-term viewers of this show. The Lot 8 discovery in episode 18 sits at the top of a very short list of moments where the Oak Island investigation produced physical evidence that could not be explained away, could not be dismissed as wishful interpretation, and could not be filed under the long history of promising leads that ultimately failed to deliver. This show has produced many moments that looked significant and fewer that proved to be. The confirmed man-made feature beneath the Lot 8 boulder belongs in the second category. It is real, it is there, and it points at a line of investigation that the rest of Season 13 is going to have to follow as far as the evidence leads, however far that turns out to be and whatever it turns out to mean for the answer. The Oak Island mystery has been withholding since 1795, if a discovery so significant the team could not believe their own eyes is the reason you watch this show. Subscribe and hit the bell right now so you never miss a breakdown from this channel. We go deeper on every Oak Island episode than the show has time to because this mystery has earned that level of attention and it always will. Comment below with your read on the Lot 8 feature. What do you think is beneath it? Does it connect to the money pit? And is Season 13 finally the season this whole investigation gets the answer it has been chasing since 1795? We read every single comment here. The investigation is not over yet. The episodes that follow breaking the seal are going to be some of the most significant this show has ever produced. We will be here for every one of them. The broader significance of what the team found in episode 18 extends into territory that goes well beyond the immediate questions of shafts, tunnels, and treasure. A man-made construction on Oak Island, sealed beneath a 40,000-pound boulder. Confirmed by a team that has earned the right to make that designation through 13 seasons of disciplined investigation, that is a piece of evidence with genuine historical weight. It belongs in the larger conversation about who was operating on this island 300 years ago, what they were protecting, and what they understood about concealment that allowed them to design a seal so effective it held for 3 centuries. Episode 18 does not answer those questions, but it confirms that the questions are worth asking in a way they have never been more concretely confirmed before. The Curse of Oak Island. Season 13 Episode 18 is called Breaking. The seal and the team could not believe what they found when that seal was finally opened tonight. The man-made feature beneath the Lot 8 boulder is confirmed. The investigation is standing at the threshold of something deliberately hidden on this island 300 years ago and waiting beneath that stone ever since. What comes next in Season 13 is the physical work of finding out what the feature conceals, how far the construction extends, and whether it leads to the answer the Oak Island mystery has been guarding since before this country had a name. Episode 18 is not a conclusion. It is the most significant opening this investigation has produced, and what comes through that opening is going to define the entire season that follows.